2. Tina. The two sit in the back section of Zook's car, watching each other for the first minute of the ride. She looks out the window as they pass parts of the city. They size each other up. He sees a middle-aged woman. Her clothes were too large for her, old and unwashed. Her tennis shoes look too big for her feet. He wonders if it is a new fad these days. He wouldn't know. Perhaps she is just homeless. There are plenty of those around, and this is how they usually look. She sees an older man, a beige trench coat, nothing else, no tattoo that she is able to see, no scar on his face, no facial hairstyle. He is plain and boring. With nothing else to see, she looks outside of the window. Tina looks awake, but Zook knows that will change soon. She glances back at him. He smiles at her from across the median of the town car. He then pulls out a small device, which extends larger, and puts it on the bar between them, as a small red light shines. "So kid, you have gotten yourself into a bit of a mess, haven't you?" Zook smiles, as they are driven far from the gathering of strange people, and away from Tina's first strange dealings with them. She scoffs at his juvenile question. She feels the smooth road they travel in the large car, the liquid swishes in the bottles in the auto bar, and the seat is comfortable considering a bear trap is inches from her back. Zook slightly nods his head. That little gadget is so that no one can hear us as we chat if they are listening in. So, here it comes, out with it. He does a come hither gesture, waving a hand to entice her to start. She thought he needs to be a much more sexy guy to pull off that look, but Tina snaps back with questions.
I just want to know what the hell is going on, what is happening to me, and why the hell was I roughed up and brought to that weird group of people who were staring at me as though they were undressing me with their eyes.
Zook smiles and Tina lets it flow out of her.
What just happened back there? Why am I like this? Why am I so hungry? Why did you refer to decades and centuries? How is everyone so calm with the murder of that boss guy? Why can't I remember what's happened to me recently? Have I forgotten something important? Did things magically happen to me that can't be explained?
Many more questions come to Tina as they are being driven down the road. Zook straightens out his beige trench coat in the seat and lets her ask her questions and keeps his own counsel to answer them all when she finishes. When she stops with her questions, he puts his hands on his head and sighs yet again. I'm not getting paid enough for this. So, kid, are you telling me you don't know what you are, yet?
Of course I know what I am. I'm 30 years old, so stop calling me kid. I'm not an idiot. I become a vampire. I just want to hear you say it. I've seen the movies and know the stories. Hell, if I know why or who made me this way, certainly no one asked. I mean, it is kind of cool, other than the no sun thing. I didn't get out much, anyway. I didn't know drinking blood would be so easy to get used to. It has the fun of sex, but with anybody, and I'm having it for once. I don't eat anymore, but I guess the blood covers it, but I barely know how much of it works.
She is rambling again, and her car companion lets her talk. Zook begins again. Very well, 30-year-old Tina. My name is Zook. Most of the people around the city call me that or Z. It works for me. The name isn't so strange when I was younger where I grew up, but now the nickname works. I might not look it, but I'm old, older than you, older than some of the other vampires in the gathering. But don't kid yourself, we are not immortal. We live a very long time if no one decides to end that naturally, multiple holes, and removed body parts. Lots of bullets can kill us, knives and swords hurt more, and fire and sunlight certainly should be avoided. Few of us are ever asked if we would prefer to become a vampire, if the mortal coil we live on is enough, it just happens. Think how absurd that might be, someone asking you if they can drink all of your blood and make you one of them so that you can be stronger, stay up all night, and live inexpensively. Tina sticks up a finger to get him to stop. He glares at her to let him continue. She puts her finger back down and sits back. Nope, hush, an adult is talking. You'll get used to the drinking, or you'll have a nervous breakdown. Blood hunting, get blood from any animal, obviously including humans. We call because there are so many people, but we don't always have to kill and are almost at the top of the food chain. Some of us are good enough with animal blood, and you might start with that first, but human blood is so different. You'll know the difference, eventually. There are 7 billion people out there. We do a service for nature. You can drink animal blood if you become fast enough to catch them, or you can buy it from some slaughterhouses or from hunters pretty cheaply if you get a good one that doesn't ask questions. You can exist that way, but it isn't as fun as humans, and the taste just isn't right, especially if they are big on alcohol, or other drugs, which is pretty fun too. He maniacally massaged his hands together, imagining his next hunt. Then, he continues. When it comes to us, when this happens, we have some rules we most often follow when we create a vampire like yourself. In my organization's case, throughout most of the world, we usually take the men or women and direct them around. We show them the ropes, and teach them how to exist. Show you what you can and can't do, and the limitations of most situations. Some other organizations around the rest of the world are not as forgiving. They do some very odd things with people as well, but we don't need to get into that. You can't remember what has happened to you, and I'm not the same type of vampire you've read about or have seen in the movies. I am pretty good at dealing with people, and even animals, so I sometimes help out. Many of the vampires are bigger on speed and strength, me, not so much. I can handle myself in a fight, not as much as some of them in there, but I'm better with people. Most of us use the blood we consume to fuel our powers or our bodies. I save the blood I consume more for waking up for the night and use my will to do things I need. In that case, I don't need to hunt as often. It all depends on how you look at death. Zook smirks at his joke, but Tina didn't catch it. He realizes he will need to talk slower for her to get his amazing humor, or she is too modern or ditzy. He shakes his head thinking, kids these days. He lets her stop him and she asks,
So what, you read people's minds or charm people with your piercing gaze? Don't you have to be hot for that?
He smirked at her jab right back and nodded at her insult right back at him. She keeps going.
That is the stupid stuff about being a vampire. Why can't you fly, or do cooler stuff with your mind, telekinesis, or turn into a bat? That is always cooler. How about turning into mist and going under doors?
He combs his fingers through his hair again. Calm down, kid. Some can read minds. I've been working on that ability, but it is pretty advanced. Next, some of us use the power of the blood to make it impossible to be seen or noticed, but if we affect the area around us, then they can be seen again. Being stabbed, attacking someone, tripping on a toy or a cord will disrupt it. Using these traps in my car helps me survive longer. The blood we take allows us to fuel our powers and wake up for the night. If you use too much over a night for whatever reason and don't take more, you will either not wake up, or wake up thirsty and crazy, letting your beast take over. It is the vampiric spirit in your body, it wakes up and more often than anything gets you killed. Not from other people, but from people like me investigating it or the bosses back there, or other beings who notice and keep watch of that sort of thing. If you are lucky, you'll just kill and possibly drain someone you are with, or close to. Your beast when it takes over is stronger than you and hungry. Most of us can't easily control it. Most of us can't fly by ourselves or turn into bats, but some of us can, when the power is learned. Zook put a finger to his droopy chin, thinking about what to still go over. He continued. There are several blood powers that we can learn. It is either learned genetically, through the blood we have when we were created as a certain type of vampire, or we can usually learn different ones from others. That usually is at a hefty price of either blood, money, or favors. When you get the swing of the different blood powers, you'll know what blood family you're in. Tina tapped on the car floor with her shoes, thinking of her own questions.
What is this about favors? You and that last boss guy talked about them.
He answered. Favors are deals we track. We do a deal, share abilities, save each other's life, sell them for cash, and we earn favors we can later cash in. They go on urgency, agreed between few involved, ranging in importance from basic, to minor, to major, to life. You might guess the urgency. Next question from her.
So, what are the different things we can do with blood powers?
Zook nods while he answers. Dozens of different things, and some are not well known to me. The obvious things are increasing one's strength, toughness, or speed. Blood magic is known to the magicians, they learn different things, but I don't know many of those. They keep those secrets because it is one of their biggest benefits. If they allow that to spread around too much, their domination in the field will weaken, so they don't just want to keep it secret, they will often kill those who aren't of their blood family who learns it in some way.
Sheesh, that is pretty harsh.
You have no idea. So, there are other things, turning into animals, dogs, wolves, and bats, those are known by some, but not many. Some can sleep in the ground with a certain power that allows them to flow into the ground as though it is water, and they sleep if caught out in the open for a day. Can use it to hide from being chased. That certainly isn't as well kept a secret, but it just isn't well sought after other than the rest. Mind and feeling manipulation are pretty well known, forcing humans and more to do what we want.
Wait, Isn't that about the same thing?
No, with mind manipulation, like your problem, we can change what people remember. With feeling manipulation, we can make someone not care if they remember something or not. I can tell your brain to remember or forget something, but I can't tell you that we are friends, and you just are that way. Feeling manipulation allows someone to trust or fear you. Tina shivers.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Zook capitulates with her. Sure, it can be rough, but you can do it right back, so make friends who can do that sort of stuff, and if someone messes with you, then another can help you figure it out. Or you just get upset at it all, freak out, and greet the sun as it rises. It isn't a pretty sight, and it would be extremely painful for a few seconds. He continues with a few other blood powers he hadn't yet gone over. There are a few more I know of: the blood power to heighten our senses, sight to see far away, or details, increase smell to smell blood or perfume or cologne if you so choose. See the aura of a person, to tell if they are someone special like us, or if someone is angry. We can also tell if someone is lying to us. It is nice to know. The different abilities pertaining to the heightened senses also contradict the blood powers to hide from others. It isn't just invisibility, but more of a misdirection, so someone isn't seeing or hearing you. Being able to feel a psychic vibe from objects can be handy as well. I can find evidence, or key important things in a crime scene if the cops let me check around, but it also is to help on the job if the cops aren't around. Some have the power to increase their fingers to the size of claws. They hurt a lot, and healing that damage takes a lot of blood and time. There are many options. Sadly, there isn't a menu you can pick from. If something interests you, you can ask around, or see if someone can give you other hints. Some you can just learn over time if it is in your blood family. Since we do not know who your maker is, that is part of your mystery. The car bounces as it goes over a speed bump as Tina asks,
Are there anything more modern? Talking with computers, or reaching through telephones?
He shrugs. Not that I know of, but I can talk to animals. If I wanted to, I could become a pet psychic. There is some money in that, but I can't be able to be too accurate or get famous. That sort of stuff would draw too much attention. Tina licked her sharp, extended teeth, getting used to them near her tongue.
So what about things that want to hurt us? Can humans, or other things?
Zook answers, nodding, oh yes, there are humans out there that hunt us for a few reasons. Usually it is revenge. In the old days I hear it is a religious thing, but werewolves, magicians, the real mortal kind, not vampiric ones, other vampires. There are plenty out here we are careful about. Her chin lifts towards the driver.
So, the driver up there has heard everything apparently. Who's he? Is he a vampire too?
He's Bud, that's all he goes by design. She hears Bud's deep voice from the driver's seat. He nodded to the side, still watching the road.
Ma'am.
Zook keeps going. That is not his name, but he doesn't know more than that, because that helps us both. His name is something else, but other vampires or supernatural beings use that sort of thing against him, or me. He's not one of us, he is a ghoul. He gets some of my blood over time, and he can live longer, and be stronger and do other things. He also likes me more because of it. Do you live in the area? Tina answers, shaking her head to remember the flood of info.
Yeah, I think I've lived in the area for a long while. I can't remember much of what was happening for me a while ago though. What is happening around here? The men and women back there, why were they so snooty and calm when the boss guy is stabbed in the chest?
Yeah, kid.
Stop that.
She says, tired of the nickname. Zook smiles with a gleam in his eyes. When you prove yourself to deserve it, 30-year-old Tina. They are snooty, because they consider themselves better than you. The money in that room could buy Alaska, all homes, businesses, and apartments in it, and boot everyone out to make it a vampire's paradise. In this case, the woman who struck the old boss owns companies and has a bunch of money. She will be handling us as a group here, and she is pretty good with humans, so I won't do as much with her as I did with old management. Tina interrupts for a second.
Are you upset about that? Will you lose out on anything?
Not really, he was a brute, kind of a bully. Those tend to be the boss sometimes with an iron fist, but the woman who has taken the job as an artist, she is Panteri's aunt, and she is one of the decent ones if not a little quirky. You'll get used to these sorts of changes, or you'll have a nervous breakdown. That will be on you.
You say that so often, and so casually, I don't like it.
Well, it happens, just trying to prepare you for it. I didn't make you one of us, so it isn't on me. None of us get asked if we want to. Just do what is asked of you by them if you can and play nice. Oh, and the staking, they aren't dead yet, they are mostly dead though, making them slightly alive. You know the only thing you can do with people who are all dead? She paints a smile on her face, but it doesn't reach her eyes.
What? Pull out the stake.
Zook replies, oh my, kids these days, you go through their clothes and look for loose change. He shakes his head and scoffs that she does not get the reference. So, the wooden stake through the heart needs to be well placed, and if it works, is more of a paralyzing and not full death, but of course, your head could be separated when you go limp, so try to be careful with toothpicks. You were probably the youngest person in that previous room. I'm not truly sure how old everyone is, and the person who made you is in pretty big trouble. I guess we can get to that sort of stuff. Tina scoffs. Zook replies, oh my, kids these days. No, you go through their clothes and look for loose change. He shakes his head and scoffs that she does not get the reference. So, the wooden stake through the heart needs to be well placed, and if it works, is more of a paralyzing and not full death, but of course, your head could be separated when you go limp, so try to be careful with toothpicks. You were probably the youngest person in that previous room. I'm not truly sure how old everyone is, and the person who made you is in pretty big trouble. I guess we can get to that sort of stuff. Tina scoffs.
I told that guy back there that I don't know who did this to me. I can't remember what happened to me. I barely know what day it is.
Zook gestures to the driver. Hey bud, we'll take the extra precaution tonight, take us to the mall, then around the usual parking lots till about an hour till sunrise, then home.
Got it, boss.
Bud replies in his deep monotone. Zook continues answering Tina. You told them that you don't know who made you. I am here to find out who made you. It is one of the things I do. They talk about things more through the night, getting earlier in the morning. One of the important things they go over is what Zook calls the universal rules. Humans can't know of us, showing off will get you, and them, killed. Often by one of us. No experimenting on them and leaving them out in the open, no ripping them in half, leaving them in places where they can be found, and bending them in incorrect places. There is a reason we've been around for centuries without notice. It is all rumor and mystery. Get this through your thick skull, don't get caught. The rest aren't as important, we'll just go over them really quick. It is getting closer to sunrise, and each of them tires of the chat. Near sunrise, the car pulls up to a large home neighborhood, trimmed trees, garages, and white picket fences. It looks too normal. Zook watches her eyelids get heavy. He whispers, I know you're getting tired, don't worry, we're at my home. He uses an old-fashioned roll-up window part of the door. This has covered the inside of the window with a hard plastic covering. Then, he does the same for the other side of the car. We will drive into the garage just before sunrise, and Bud will have us brought into the house, into a safe area for the day, then we can speak tonight. Tina's eyes pop open, doing her best to stay awake. She worries what his plans are with her. Her voice is shaky as she asks.
Wait, aren't we speaking already? Are you sure they can all be trusted? What if any part of the sun touches us? When I've been knocked out during the day, I always sleep through it, never toss and turn, or have to wake up to use the restroom. How will we be safe? Where will we sleep? What do I do about work?
Zook's eyes go wide at how fast Tina rambles on. He lets out a little sigh when she finishes. Don't worry kid, I've done this dozens of times, there will be another of my friends to help Bud get us out of here. The walk from the garage to the safe place is completely away from the windows, and they wouldn't hurt me, or you. We'll talk more tonight. Tina doesn't enjoy the prospect of relying on him, but for some reason, she trusts him. He could have killed her already if he wanted to. The seats were comfortable, as she continues to get more and more tired. The last thing she remembers before passing out is worrying what will happen during the day. That day, she dreams of being stuck in a small box. The feeling around her is wood, and it is dark. She calls out for help, has no room to pry the box open, but she tries anyway. It is bolted down and won't budge. Lifting her knees, she tries harder, still won't budge. Using her fists, she punches up and down against the bottom and top of the box, calling out for help. No one answers.